There are a lot of myths about coyotes, and one of those myths is about their size. It really is a 30 to 35 pound animal, although many times when people see them, they put so much winter fur on, they look much larger than they actually are. They typically point their tails towards the ground, so if you think you're seeing a coyote, the first thing to do is look at the tail and see where it's pointing. Their tail's always pointing towards the ground, and it typically has a black tip on the end. Coyotes are found firstly throughout Dublin. They tend to den in areas with brush or any place that they feel safe and comfortable. And believe it or not, that could even be under somebody's deck. It just depends. They really try and avoid humans, but if it's an unused area and they feel safe, they can build a den in an area relatively close to us. So another myth about coyotes is that they often attack people. In reality, all across North America, including Canada, there have been less than 150 attacks on humans. So very, very few attacks. There's only been one attack in recorded history in the state of Ohio. Dublin had 48 dog bites in 2010. We've had 0 coyote bites on a human in our history. So we don't necessarily have to be fearful of attacks, but we do have to be aware that they are going to be protective of their young, just as we are, and of their territories. They do attack pets, but there's a huge myth around that. A lot of people think they see our pets as a source of food. On the contrary, they see our pets as competitors, and they want to protect their food source. There are a lot of things that they need to do to keep the relationship that we have with coyotes what it is today, and that's respectful. So when coyotes see us, typically they turn and run, and that's what we want to continue to encourage. So we encourage our residents to haze. Anytime we see a wild animal, we tend to stop and stare. However, that teaches wildlife that we're safe. And we want the contrary to happen. We want them to think we're unsafe, and we want them to remain respectful of us. So we also sometimes leave the scene. So if a wild animal shows up, we become afraid and we tend to walk away. This also teaches wildlife that we're safe. So we want wildlife to remain respectful, and we can do that by scaring them safely. And that means looking big, raising our hands up over our heads, yelling. We might throw an object in the direction of the wild animal. A spray hose in the backyard, just turning on the hose and spraying water in the direction of an animal. Loud noises, banging something together, anything to scare them away is important. Never ever leave before the wild animal leaves. If there's a coyote in your presence, scare it, scare it, scare it, and stay there until the coyote leaves first. That's very important. If you're walking your pet, very, very important to keep your pet on a leash. Those leash laws are in existence for a reason.